Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of AWS Mastery course. And in this particular session, we are going to learn about how we can set up our CDN and how we can create our CDN and how we can configure the distributions as well. Okay, so we are going to learn about all these things in a very practical manner in this particular session. So now let's start the session. So in this particular session, we are going to learn about how we can set up our CloudFront CDN practically. So now let's just go to our AWS console and let's try to understand how we can practically set up our AWS CloudFront, and which is also known as Content Delivery Network. So as you can see, I'm in my AWS CloudFront CDN, and the thing is, I've already told you in the last session, in order to try to deliver our content, we need a content source as well. So before starting with AWS CloudFront, first we are going to set up one AWS S3 bucket, and in that bucket we'll be having some data so that we can see how the data is being delivered over the network. So first we are going to set up our S3 bucket. So just search for S3 and it will get open. It will not take much time. Okay, so here we are having S3. So you all know about the S3 very well, so you don't have to worry about this. And if you're facing any issue or difficulty, just go and watch that particular video from S3, like how we can set up S3 practically, or you can just watch this. Okay, it's a quick recap, or as we can say. So I'm just trying to create my bucket. So for that, I'm just giving the name as my bucket and just random some numbers, because it is it takes kind of a DNS name, so it should be unique. And I'm going to, I can say, enable this bucket ownership. I'm going to remove all the blocks. I have to acknowledge this. Also, I'm going to enable the bucket versioning, and rest everything I'm going to leave as it is. So we are very much done. So it is saying successfully created bucket and the bucket name, and here we are having our bucket. So inside this bucket we are going to upload one object, or I can say we are going to upload one file. So let's upload the file as well. So from here it's saying add files. So let's see if I'm having any file or not. Okay, so I'm having this screenshot and I'm just uploading this screenshot. So I have added this. Now let's upload this. Okay, so we have just uploaded this screenshot, and also now we are going to change the settings so that this screenshot can be accessed from anywhere in the world. So let's just change the permissions as well. And in order to change the permission, we need to edit our ACL, which is access control list, like who can actually access this. So we are having object owner can actually access it. It is very much easy, but we need to make it for everyone in the public. So let's just click over here and just check these box, and also click on I understand the effect and just click on save changes. So we have done all these things. Now let's just click, or I can say copy the object URL and just open this. So as you can see, this screenshot is being opened or accessed by anyone in the world. Okay, so the thing is, first now let's just go to our CloudFront CDN, and how we am going to do that. In order to do that, let's just search for CloudFront. So it is, as you can see, CloudFront Global Content Delivery Network. Let's just click over here. Okay, so it is saying Amazon CloudFront securely delivers content with low latency and higher transfer speed. Means the latency is going to be very low and the speed will be very much high. We can actually deliver our content. So for that, first we need to create a CloudFront distribution. We are going to create a distribution system in which we are going to access each and everything. So we need to choose the origin, which we have set up, and by mistake I have, I was saying that it was source. It was our origin, from where we are getting the data. So for that, I'm having a source as bucket. So I'm just choosing this bucket, which we have just created. And the name, it is optional. Don't need to do this. Origin is public. And apart from that, everything is going, we can leave as it is. Okay, you can enable the firewall, like we are just enabling, like I'm just enabling the application firewall. And apart from that, we are having all these options. We don't need to, I can say, worry about anything. And if you have any custom SSL certificate, you can just add that certificate. Also, we are having like this supported version, we don't need to do this. So we have just selected our origin, like from where we are going to get the data, and we have set up everything. Now let's just click on create the distribution. So as you can see, like we are having a distribution, and it is saying it is being deployed. Okay, but before doing this, like how we can test, like we have created one distribution, and with this distribution, like the source we are having, like in which we have added some data, so we are just trying to access that source. So we are going to check like how much speed is going to get when we are trying to access the data. So it will take some time in order to deploy, but before that, let's just first check the speed of our S3 bucket, the object which we are having in S3. So how we can do that? So for doing that, like in order to check the performance of any I can say source or any distribution, we are having some website. So I'm having like key CDN. So just search for key CDN tools, and for the first place, like at the first place, you will get this key CDN tools simplify problem solution. And here we are having the performance test. So this is the performance test we are having. So first we are going to just paste this link, and we'll try to check the speed. So the thing is, let's just click, and as of now we are just choosing the bucket, like the which by which we are just trying to access the object which we are having in the bucket. We are just trying to access that. Okay, so we are not using any CloudFront distribution because it is being deploying as of now, and we are not done with that yet. But before that, we are just checking like normally how much speed we are going to have. So it is taking some time. In order to get connected from Frankfurt, it is taking 115.95 milliseconds. From Amsterdam, it's taking 105.54 milliseconds. And in London, 78 milliseconds. New York, 9 milliseconds. San Francisco, 7.1 milliseconds. So this is the time which we are actually getting. So now, let me just... So it is saying it is being deploying. Okay, still. So now we are going to check. So in order to check, like I'm having the link of this particular CloudFront CDN, and inside this link, I'm going to I'm trying to access the object which I am having in in S3, sorry. So for that, like I'm having this link. So the thing is, like I'm just downloading this, like I'm just clicking selecting this, and I'm just copying this, and after that I'm just putting this thing over here. So what I'm saying, like in this CloudFront CDN, I'm having this link because the source is S3 bucket, and inside this bucket we are having this particular object. So now this object is going to be accessed from the CloudFront CDN, not from the S3 bucket directly. So now let's just click over here. Okay, so as you can see, our CloudFront CDN is working perfectly fine. So now let's just try to access, just try to understand like how much speed we are having after using the CloudFront CDN. So we are having the performance test over here, and what I'm going to do, I'm just duplicating this. Okay, and we are having the performance test, and here as you can see, we are having the source from the bucket. Like as you can see, we are having bucket, and here we are having from the CloudFront. So now let's just test this. So as you can see, if you will able to see the difference, as you can see my cursor, earlier when I was using just the bucket and the object I was trying to access from the bucket, it was taking 115 millisecond in order to just connect from the location of Frankfurt. if someone was trying to connect from the Frankfurt and trying to access this particular image, it will take 1.115 millisecond. Okay, but if someone using CloudFront, if we are using CloudFront and the distribution itself, so it is just taking 1 millisecond. So 115 and 1, so there is a huge difference of 114 millisecond. So this is how we are just making each and everything in a proper manner, like, so that we can speed up the distribution, we can speed up the content delivery. So earlier when we were not using the CloudFront CDN, the speed the user from Frankfurt was getting like 115 millisecond in order to access this particular file. But after using what I can say, CloudFront seeding, it is just 1 millisecond. So this is how we can speed up our process, and when we are having a good speed, then we can say the latency is very low. So what we have done, we have just set up one origin. Inside the origin we were having one image, and the image we try to access it from the bucket directly. It was taking 115 millisecond from the Frankfurt. Like, we are having other locations as well, but I'm just taking the example of Frankfurt. But when we configure the CloudFront CDN, and when we try to access that particular image by using the CloudFront CDN, so instead of 115 millisecond, it is just 1 millisecond. So this is how the difference we are making. This is how we are speeding up our content delivery over the network. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood like how we can set up our CDN, and what are the challenges which we may face while setting up our CDN, and what exactly the significance of CDN when we are actually using it. Okay, so that was all about this session. Thank you so much.